G'day guys, Jim from Red Trucks. This is the first of a series of videos where I showcase my search for DIECAST in Bali, Indonesia. I hope you enjoy it, so stay tuned. So after getting a train from my suburb to Rockdale and then getting the bus from Rockdale to the airport, here we are at Sydney Airport, just waiting to check in the luggage. Once we checked in the luggage, we had about 2 hours to kill, and I headed to the nearest shop to have a look at some Hot Wheels mainlines, which were selling for $6.99. That is as expensive as I've ever seen them. Here we are about to board the Virgin Airlines Boeing 737, I believe it was. It was about 8:30, 9 p.m. at night. Here's the seating, two lots of free rows of seats either side of the aisle. Here's the menu. It didn't really appeal to me, so I didn't buy anything to eat. Had a few snacks with us. So yeah, it was way too expensive as well. Here's the itinerary for this video. We're going to go from Kuta to Ubud. It's about a 40-minute drive, so stay tuned. So once we landed, we were pretty hungry, so we headed to Johnny Rocket's Fried Chicken. As you can see, there's always a service fee and tax involved with a lot of the eateries in Bali, which puts the price up quite a lot. Here we are at the Vera Bali Boutique Hotel Suites, where we stayed the night after getting off the plane. This is a $100 per night hotel. In the next morning we had this buffet breakfast, which is free. That bacon looks good, but it tastes terrible. It was like rubber and it was very oily. Never got to try the pool because we weren't there long enough. Here's some more of the breakfast we had. We went back for seconds and thirds. Some cakes and fruit. That weird looking fruit, this one here, is a snake fruit. Because of the skin, it resembles a snake. So anyway, then we went out in the street, had a walk around Kuta, saw these pictures of Holdens and Tiranas. Then we headed to Kuta Beach. This is a shout out to Delstar DIECAST over there in America. He really loves his surfing, so this is for him. Kuta Beach was a bit flat that day. There was only a few people learning to surf. Very hot too, at least 30 degrees Celsius. Then we kept walking along, saw a few things, a statue, this giant surfboard. So Delstar, I hope you enjoyed that bit of footage. Then it was on to a Gojek car, which is like a Uber, for a 40-minute drive to Ubud. Saw a few interesting things along the way. A lot of these little mobile food shops on the streets. That one sells bakso dumpling soups. The driver had to stop at a service station because it's a bit low on petrol, so it was telling us there was restrictions on the amount of fuel you can buy in Bali. Those guys in the red overalls oversee how much you put into your tank. They actually do it for you. That's their actual job. So yeah, it was quite interesting to see that, because in Australia we have to do everything ourselves. There's no restrictions. Here we are in Ubud. We just got out of the hotel, which you saw the inside of. There were monkeys climbing all over the place. This is only about 10 minutes walk from the monkey forest, so it's no wonder. Oh yeah. Yeah, they were just everywhere. Here's a market that we walked through. I saw these wooden signs. I really should have rather bought a couple of these, because we never returned to that market. Further along the street we saw these fish bars. I've actually done this sort of thing in Malaysia. You sit on a cushion up there, you take your shoes and socks off, put your feet in the water, and the fish eat the dead skin off your feet. But you've got to make sure you don't have any cuts on your feet before you do it. Another shop in Ubud. This is where they sell those soaps. I think the price was $60,000. I ended up finding them for about $35,000, I think it was. Then it was off to rice fields, Kajang rice fields. This was one of the highlights of the whole trip to Ubud. It was so tranquil and peaceful here. So much greenery. We walked around here for about 1.5 to 2 hours. There's an old plough or tiller machine. Some people harvesting the rice. And there were so many little homestays in the rice fields and restaurants and cafes. It was unbelievable. So here's the first place I actually looked for DIECAST in. This isn't far from the monkey forest. It's in Jalan Kajang. Jalan is another word for road. So it's in Kajang Road. It's an Indo Mart, as I said. They sell fried foods in here. Yeah, I was hoping to find some die-cast in these sort of shops, and I did. I soon learned that only the larger marts sell die-cast, the larger Indo Marts, Alpha Marts, and there's Coco Mart, I think there is, and a Circle K. So only go into the big ones if you're in Bali. Forget about the small marts, they just don't sell die-cast. Prices range from about $3.50 to $4 Australian. It was pretty hard to find the prices on some of the things. 7-Eleven was actually in Bali, Indonesia for a while, but in 2017 they went out of business. When I researched it, it turns out a lot of people were going to 7-Eleven and just buying a drink or something and then sitting there half a day. So they weren't making much money. So in 2017, 7-Eleven pulled out of Indonesia. So they're just left with mainly Alpha Mart, Indo Mart, Circle K and Coco Mart, I think it's called. Yeah, those are the four main ones. And like I said, only go into the big ones if you're looking for die-cast. There was a few of these MSZ branded models. There's another one. It was a GT Ford. Music was playing, so a lot of these shops I can't do talking in the shop. This was interesting. I thought if I can find a Indonesian garbage truck, maybe I can find an Indonesian fire truck. Fingers crossed. They seem to be a bit messed up. So here we are, just up the street from the Indo Mart. This is the Alpha Mart. Again on Jalan Kajang, not far from the monkey forest. Once again, they had the in-store music playing, so I've had to do a voiceover, which isn't easy because I'm doing this voiceover about 5 days after returning home to Sydney, and I'm trying to remember what I saw that day. I got home on the 19th of May, which is about 4 days ago, because I'm filming this on the Friday. There's a price there, $35,900. So it's about $3.59, $3.60. Nice Mercedes wagon there. Before coming to Bali, I sort of watched a lot of YouTube videos trying to find out where they actually buy their die-cast from. And I was really hoping to find some flea markets over here, but the places we stayed at, the flea markets just weren't at. So I was left to these little marts, and later on in the forthcoming videos, we'll go to some toy shops. In the background, you can see the Commodore. This actually turned out to be the very first die-cast I bought in Bali. I'll put it down, but I'll actually pick it up again soon, I think. I thought I'd better grab this, otherwise what if I don't find anything else throughout the whole holiday? So even though I've got two at home, I grabbed it. This is in the same shop actually. This mart had a lot of die-cast in different areas. They had some near the counter. They had this little rack of specials. Most of the stuff I'd seen before. Yeah, I think this mart had about 3 places where they had die-cast for sale. This little spinning display rack. There's another one. This is all in the same store. I was actually a little bit disappointed. I thought the die-cast over here would be a lot cheaper than Australia, but in some cases it was even more expensive, which is weird because they make it in Indonesia. they make diecast in Indonesia, like Hot Wheels. This is the same story again. So after this, we were a bit hungry. We got this something to eat, very delicious. So one of our main activities that we had planned for this holiday was to make ourselves some silver rings for our 25th wedding anniversary. So you start out with those little silver balls, you melt them down. To melt them, you've got to pump this pedal, which pushes the gas through. Then you've got to put them through this series of rollers to stretch them out. A lot of grinding and buffing, dipping in acid and cooling down. Long procedure. It took us probably an hour and a half there, and there's the finished product, 2 nice rings. So we were happy with that. We did get caught out in some downpours on 2 occasions. Luckily we had our disposable ponchos. So yeah, it didn't take long to stop raining. Then we headed to a restaurant. This was probably our best meal of the whole holiday. Really delicious food, squid ink rice. All through the streets of Bali, the shopkeepers put out these little offerings for their gods. So you've got to be careful you don't walk along and kick them or step on them. And the monkeys love them. The monkeys come down and eat what's offered. So the shopkeepers are always trying to shoo the monkeys away and picking up their droppings and cleaning up after them. Monkeys are a big part of the economy here. They bring in a lot of tourists, but they also cause a lot of mess. Included these Volkswagen 181 things going past again. This happened in Ubud. I did see a lot of these vehicles. Funnily enough, after I left Ubud, I didn't see many others in Lebongan or Sanura. Here's a cocoa supermarket. I think it's the only one I went into. Did have a bit of diecast. Music was playing again, so I'm doing the voiceover. Look at the prices. I think I highlight one, or I've already done it and I missed it. 60,000, that's like $6. That's the same price as Sydney Airport, which is ridiculous. I mean, how can they charge $6 in Bali, Indonesia for a mainline Hot Wheels? There's another one. Matchbox is always a bit dearer, but still that's expensive. Yeah, a few toys in this cocoa supermarket. I think we're going to see a 10-pack soon. There it is. I think it's a 10-pack for 300,000, which is about 29 Australian dollars, thereabouts. So I'm not sure if that's a good price or not. I never buy 10 packs. So that was the cocoa supermarket. After that, we went to walking around the monkey forest, and this is in Jalan Bojog. This is outside the monkey forest, a little cafe sort of thing that sells Vietnamese food. So we tried the banh mi and the rice paper rolls, but it was okay.
This is where I found
Here's
the
another
firetruck.
Indo Mart.
Indo Mart.
And I believe this is where I found my firetruck. Yeah, I think I just spoke over my voice in the video. Anyway, so a lot of these branded models. A few Matchbox. Not sure if that's the right price. I don't think so. Moving parts. Matchbox. We pull back, spares the fire truck. I was so happy to find that. Once I found that, my mission was basically accomplished for the whole holiday. That's really what I was hoping to find over here. And to find it on, the second or third day, that was just a real bonus. Anything thereon from here was just icing on the cake. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. There's a couple more to come. Stay tuned, leave a comment, and I'll see you next time. Bye.